Hello everybody, happy Monday. One of my dog neighbors is very barky right now, so bear with me. I'm wearing this really lovely shirt. Sorry, I'm having to readjust because of the lighting. It's getting very dark at night, guys, to do this. I might have to move it inside. But anyway, I'm wearing a historic Red Bank shirt that I found at the thrift store, which I love so much. Somebody made this. I don't know why they got rid of it, but anyway, I was told by local amateur historian Larry Miller that this has been referred to as the church on the hill. His understanding is that this is actually the former church / school building that was up where Cumberland Presbyterian Church is now at the corner of Morrison Springs Road and Dayton Blvd. So very cool. And now I have a new Red Bank shirt, so very exciting. I just literally walked in the door like 5 minutes ago from knocking doors, so apologies if I'm like a little discombobulated, but hello everyone. We'll get started. No super heavy items tomorrow, but we do have a few items on the agenda, as you can see. First thing in the work session, we'll be talking about, or we'll be introduced to two new employees. One is a part-time Parks and Recreation program assistant who was just recently hired, I think maybe in the last couple of weeks. And then we have a new full-time firefighter coming on board. So we'll be meeting both of those employees tomorrow at our work session. Also at our work session, and only at our work session, we are going to be having Scott McDonald, who's with an engineering firm working on the sewer rehab projects here in Red Bank with WWTA. He is going to be coming in to give an update on that project. When I asked about that, I was like, oh, are they coming to tell us that it's all done and they're ready to check and see if there are any more leaks or overflows happening? And staff said, actually, apparently this is for them to talk to us about the next phase of the project, which we didn't know there was going to be a phase 2. So it seems like maybe phase 1 is complete, but there's another step to the project. So if you're interested in hearing about the sewer project, that is hopefully eventually going to lead to us being able to get our sewer moratorium lifted, then you should definitely tune in for that conversation in our work session. Also, only in our work session, item number 3, our community planner, Michael Pham, is going to be giving a presentation on the TDOT resurfacing that is being proposed for Dayton Blvd from the tunnel to Signal Mtn Rd. There was a plan for that, but it didn't really take into account all of the other studies that we've been doing and feedback that we've been getting from the community on better road design, better connectivity throughout our city. So he is going to be showing us some proposed resurfacing that they are going to hopefully submit to TDOT. And hopefully that they'll accept, that will help kind of set us up for future improvements in that area of town and throughout the city. So that'll be a really interesting presentation if you care about road resurfacing and connectivity in our community. Item number 4. We have a pool facility condition assessment, discussion only. Jeffrey Graby, our Parks and Rec manager, is going to be talking to us about this. I don't know the details, but I can tell you that our pool, the Red Bank pool, was actually built in 1962. So it is now 62 years old, and it is way past, I think, its end of life. So I'm assuming that we will be hearing about what that might look like for like maybe a capital improvement project in the coming years. If we want to keep a pool, what does that look like? And what state is this pool in? Does it have the ability to be rehabbed, etc.? So if you're interested in that, that is going to be in our work session only. Item number 5. the election media blitz discussion. I actually don't even really know the specifics of this because Martin, I think, didn't want anybody to steal his thunder. But my presumption is that he's going to be, oh gosh, sorry guys, he's going to be talking about probably our new ballot. It's going to look different than it has for the past 45 years, and that's because a state law went into effect this year that impacted us. Which I think I've probably talked about this before, but also I do, if you go to my campaign website, votestephaniedalton.com, on the FAQ page, I actually have information and like the specific piece of state legislation that was passed last year, went into effect this year, that is causing us to have to change our ballot. But instead of individual seats, like we've seen before, where we had like a District 1 seat, District 2, District 3 seat, and then we had 2 at-large seats, we were all elected at large, but for the District 1, 2, and 3 seats, you had to live in that district to be able to run for that seat. So currently, right now, the seat that I'm in is the District 2 seat because I live in North Red Bank. But we had to do away with that because the state said if you're going to have districts, then only the people in that district can vote for you. And our town is just way too small for that. Everybody needs to be able to vote for everybody on the commission because we all make decisions for the whole of Red Bank. So he'll probably be talking about that and just probably just upcoming election dates and things like that. Early voting. Voter registration deadline, by the way, is next Monday, October 7th. If you haven't checked your registration, just go ahead and check and double check it. Make sure everything's in order and tell all your friends. Item number 6 is a personnel policy that we are going to be voting on to approve a new sick leave donation policy. If you've ever worked for government, this is a policy that exists in most governmental body organizations, as far as I know. I've worked for the state of Tennessee before, and we had this, where if you have like, you know, a big pot of sick leave that like you just don't use because you were never sick, and then let's say somebody that you know, falls ill or is in an accident or has a baby and runs out of sick leave, then they can actually get donated sick leave from their fellow employees. And this is just a policy that determines that you have to have a certain number of hours of sick leave in your bank as a minimum, and then anything above that, up to a certain amount, you can donate to another employee. And so we're just going to be updating that policy to make it a little easier for folks to be able to do that, to help their fellow employees out in situations like that. Number 7, we're just going to be recognizing Fire Prevention Week, which is coming up. Our Deputy Fire Chief Isles will be talking about that. Number 8 is just the formal resolution, in case you missed it at our last meeting, where we're going to be talking about canceling our November 5th work session and regular city commission meeting because it's election day. So folks will be out, at precincts, will be out voting, will be glued to their TVs, most likely. And so this is just traditionally has been done in Red Bank when an election falls on that Tuesday meeting that it gets canceled. So we'll be voting on that. Number 9. We're going to be voting on approving the purchase of fire extinguisher training prop. That's around a little over $15,000. And this is a training prop that they can use actually to help educate people on how to properly use fire extinguishers. And it will be available for them to do like classes with the public. And it uses, it doesn't use toxic chemicals anymore, where they used to use actual like fire extinguishers and release all these chemicals, or the fire part was releasing chemicals. And so it's like very safe now. None of that stuff is involved anymore. It's a much better system. But this was budgeted for in the budget this year. So they're just finally making that purchase for that training prop. Number 10 is accepting the Tennessee Highway Safety Office Traffic Safety Grant. This is in an amount of almost $80,000. We have applied for this several times. Every year that I've been elected, we've applied for this, and it helps cover the cost of like overtime, equipment, and supplies needed for like traffic safety, distracted driving, all of those kinds of things for our police department. So we'll just be formally accepting that grant. And then the last item, a very important one, item number 11, is approve repairs to Public Works Unit 788. That might not sound important, but it's one of our garbage trucks. And a piece, the tailgate is out. And so it can't even be used right now, which is forcing it to be an emergency repair. And it's going to cost a little over $45,000 for us to repair that truck, to get it back in use as quickly as possible. So that's very important to all of us because we all want our garbage picked up, and that truck is currently not able to go out on routes. So once we get this approved, then they'll be able to go take it and get the repairs done. So that's it. Anybody have any questions? Thanks for joining me, guys. Checking out my cool new thrifted shirt from Northside Neighborhood House. I don't think I said that, but that's where I get all my thrifted clothes. But anyway, yeah, that's that. So if you guys don't have any questions, I will see you tomorrow at 5 o'clock at our work session, 6 o'clock at our voting meeting, and probably out at your doors in your neighborhoods. Good night.